Now that we have power back, welcome back to some more Cosmoteer. I'm StormRunner Gaming, and today we are actually looking at the Railgun update and the other things that have come with it. I forget what else was in the update, but the main thing is the Railgun, which I've got a small one right here. If you can actually see, it is in two parts, so it's modular with 3 different parts you build onto it. You have the loader, launcher, and the accelerator. So the 2 main components you need are, of course, the loader and launcher, but you can create it longer with the accelerators on top of it. And that gives a percentage boost that goes down with each percent. I actually haven't done the math to find out how little it gets by the end of it, but of course you can make it as long as the box and you still get a percentage increase on the weapon. And the interesting thing is the accelerator gives you increase in the speed, damage, and the penetration depth of it. So this thing seems like it has very good potential to be able to break down heavily armored ships like the armadillo design I loved forever ago. So I'm actually really interested to see how well, and I have done some tests. I'm not going to show them in the video, but I have done some tests on like DPS and stuff on it, and it actually isn't great, like price per damage per second, because each one of these sections is worth $7,500. So it's cost at least $15,000, but the penetration and speed of this thing gives it a lot of potential to be really good, is what I'm thinking. The only the big problem with it is the reload speed, though. I can actually get something up for you right here, and we can shoot at something stupid. I don't know. Let's get the armored block out again, and we can just set it off to fire at it. And we get the 1 consecutive fire, and then we wait. So, yeah, and we wait again. Usually cannons will be ripping through this. You guys might think this is a very good weapon, but I have found some flaws I'm going to be talking about in a minute, so of course stay tuned for that. But I actually have done a couple ideas with it real fast that I think are really cool. Of course, I've done something ridiculously over the top with it. Hold on, let me save this thing right here. Just call it small railgun. Alright. We can then delete the small railgun to hopefully save a couple frames as we unleash the rail sniper here. And this thing I've been playing with a lot, actually. It has 2 full-length powered rail guns down it, and an assortment of smaller to bigger ones, because I wanted to see the reload speed on it and everything. And I know what you're thinking right now. There are some gaps at which the people have to reload. Well, I'm gonna backtrack a second right here. Each little section you have with the railgun has to be powered by 2 little battery cells from a reactor, of course a storage for them. So you have to give them access to be able to reload it after each shot, I believe. Maybe, I don't exactly know how many shots you can get off before you have to reload them, but I think it's maybe 1 or 2 before you have to reload each one of them. Anyways, we can unleash the beast here, and as you'll see in a second, the full length ones are insane on damage. I mean, the sheer like penetration damage of these, like they're leaving chunks out of this block of armor. I can't speak right now, and apparently my computer can't keep up with this. I'm gonna slow it down for you guys. Hopefully, okay, at half speed we are getting enough frames to be able to show the acceleration of the huge ones. As you can see, it's taking out probably close to at least 10 armor blocks a shot here. It is crazy damage. So basically, I mean, it is very expensive, but at the price point for one of these like medium-sized ones, you could destroy somebody's like front armor or something, but the one thing I have come up against that is very bad, one of the downsides to this that I'll be getting to with a couple others is, first off, let's see, I need a ship to actually explain this. Let me just get the classic wall out for you guys. Basically, oh, yeah, that didn't work as well as I thought it would have, but actually, this might prove one of my points that I'm trying to get to here. If it does enough damage. Yep, there it goes. As you can see, if the tip of it, if any part of this thing is broken, it all chain explodes, and that's killer damage. The interesting thing to note is that the lines of reactors weren't exploded by the railguns exploding. They were exploded by cannon fire, and I've tested this multiple times. The rails actually don't explode things around them. It's like an implode almost, like right next to each other. So it's almost safe to put cores next to them even though they explode. So that is one of the designs. Another design I came up with for it, more of a budget thing that's warping two designs together. I have a wall with cannons and lasers and electro bolts and armor, of course, and shields. That's a mouthful to say. And a weird sentence. Anyways, but I've got all that in the front, and I've just retrofitted the back, took out some thrusters, and put a huge railgun in the back of it. So you can break apart your enemies by getting to the side of them. Of course, it is pointing to the left side, so you'd have to be able to maneuver pretty quickly, and that is one of the downsides to me taking out a lot of the thrusters, because I have significantly decreased the movement speed and the turning speed of my sniper wall now. So I probably will be revisiting that to put more movement on it to be able to make it better. So what I see as the disadvantage, I'm just going to go over them real fast. I mean, of course, the price for this thing is very bad but good at the same time. I mean, you could fit one in a budget, but it's going to be a lot of the budget for one ship, but you can put multiple of them on an expensive ship. That's one of the downsides. Another is like space and putting it somewhere to point forward, sideways. It's very difficult to find a spot where it's very protected but also can shoot your enemy, because they're going to be getting a lot of fire back. I thought I'm dreaming up a design now to where I can put a lot of shields in front of it, like we were doing with the ion lasers. I want to build something like that pretty bad, and I'm going to be doing that soon. Maybe I'll have a video on that maybe next week. I don't know. I got to think about it. But the third flaw, of course, is the explosion when you're firing across it. And the fourth and final one, it's really slow to reload, honestly, but I guess that's just the weapon we've got. I can zoom in on it. It does take 6 shells, and you can only store an extra 6 in the back of it, so you need a decent crew to be able to reload it, and that's the 5th problem we've got here with it. It does do a lot of damage, but how much crew do you actually have to give away to keep this thing running on your ship? Because you have to have each of these little sections reloaded each time you fire. That's a lot of manpower to be able to keep up with, and I don't know if it's worth it. I haven't actually tested the I actually haven't optimized the best amount of men to reloading this thing. But I probably will be doing that in a future video or for a build or something, I don't know, on or off camera. Aside from the negative, there are a lot of positives with this thing. I mean, it does take up a lot of space, but there's a lot of builds where there's a lot of open space in the middle where this could take the void that's left there. If you know what I mean, if you have built larger ships, this thing could be running down the middle or the sides or, I don't know, anywhere you want to put it. But, of course, high damage and super high like penetration and stuff, you can destroy builds pretty quickly with this if you have a decent length of armor and stuff. Like I will explain right now with a one of my wall killers right now. As you can see, we've already destroyed the first section of his wall. Usually I'm actually able to break through the entire thing. And I still haven't hit a core, but as you can see, we already have most of him destroyed. The third shot's gonna... Yep, there it goes. We've already destroyed more than half of him by the looks of... Well, yeah, we've taken out a big chunk of him. So that thing is deadly. I don't know how to stop it, really. You're going to have to kill it before it kills you. It's going to be very interesting to go into some multiplayer battles and maybe some tournaments with it. I'm trying to get back into the tournament spirit for Cosmoteer, but I have been away from it for a while because of newer games, I guess. I don't know, Stormworks has taken a lot of my focus more recently. But anyways, I believe that's all I've got for the Railgun. Of course, if you guys want to talk about it, you can talk in the comments down below or my Discord for the community. But anyways, if you guys like this, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel to stay up with Cosmoteer and more of my content. But I've never been great at goodbyes. My people need me, and I need to go.